Hello and welcome back to part 9 of my journey towards my Bachelor's of Science Information Technology degree from Western Governors University. So today's video is all about the Applied Probability and Statistics class, which is C955. So let me start by saying that math is not my strongest subject, and honestly, this part of my degree was probably the thing that I was the most anxious about. I worked it out. It's been 28 years since I last sat a math exam or sat in a math classroom. And, there was a part of me that really is kind of very nervous. And the word algebra, for example, really kind of sends shivers down my spine. If you're similar to that, please don't worry. And I'm going to explain in a minute. You've got nothing to be fearful of. Obviously, I know the anxiety. I understand it, but I promise it's going to be okay. So first tip, if you've been in school recently, so high school, college, night class, something like that, or if you're just particularly good at math, this could be a really good candidate to test out of. So what I mean by that is you might not need to look at the material at all. And the reason why I say that is because ultimately I don't think it's the hardest class in this program. Take the pre-assessment. That's the first tip. If you score well, and I mean, pass and get a good score, you're ready to do the objective assessment. I am very confident that you will then pass the final. And the reason why I say that is this particular class is this pre-assessment is very similar to the objective assessment. Now, when I say similar, it's not the same question, so don't expect the same. But the type of questions is extremely similar. So if you understand the questions in the pre-assessment and know how to get the answers, you're going to pass the objective assessment. I really firmly believe that. So this could be a quick win for some of you. You could do this in a couple of hours, that kind of quick win. 3 more credit hours towards your degree. If you're like me and you're a little bit unsure, I would still go ahead and do the pre-assessment. And the reason for that is it kind of really highlights the areas that you really need to focus on, because there is a lot of material here. It's very in-depth. You could spend a lot of time just going through this different material and probably not need the majority of it. Do the pre-assessment, look at the coaching report, see what you need to work on, and then focus on those areas. Now, clearly, if you need to work on everything, then you might need to go through every part. But for me, I actually did better than I thought I was going to do. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't pass the pre-assessment, but I was pretty close. And it highlighted 3 areas that I really needed to look at. So let's talk about the areas of this that make up this assessment. That might help you. The first part is fractions, decimals, and percentages. That makes up about 4% of the total assessment. Next part is basic algebra. That makes up about 10%, so not a huge amount. The next part is descriptive statistics with a single variable. That is 19%. And then following on from that is descriptive statistics with 2 variables, which is a further 19%. So basically statistics on its own combined is about 38%, so a massive part of the actual course. Next up is correlation and regression, which is 22%, and then probability is 25%. So as you can tell from those kind of numbers, statistics, correlation, regression, and probability make up about 86% total. So again, areas that you might want to focus on if you want to get a quick win and get through it. The actual material is kind of threefold. Online, you can go to the course material, and what they do is they break each one of those subjects I just told you about into modules. And you can, just like every other course, you can go through module by module, and they kind of test you along the way. At the end of the module, there is up to 3 module tests. Now, you don't have to take those, but what they do is they just kind of give you an idea that you can take them. There's 20 questions in each one, and it just kind of gives you an idea where you are and if you understand the material. I think they say you're getting 80% or more if you're ready to go to the next module. Now, the material is, like I said, very in-depth. In fact, it was way more in-depth than the actual final exam. And there is not much in the way of watching videos. A lot of it is you read, test, read, test. I found that kind of difficult because I don't study very well for that. So those that enjoy videos, honestly, there are some, but not many. I'll give you a heads up. Next up, you have the course professors. So when you sign up, you get an email, and what they'll do is they'll send you some links to some things that you can work on, things to focus on. They also offer you to set up a meeting with them to discuss the material. Also there you can sign up for cohorts, which are pre-recorded ones that go over some material, and there's also some live ones that you can sign up for. So I think in the live ones you can actually ask questions and they'll help break down anything you're having trouble with. Finally, you have the Math Centre, which is part of the main Western Governors University kind of material that they offer you. So it's under, when you log in, it's under, I think it's under Success Centre. Let me just confirm that for you. Yes, it's on the Student Centre, sorry. There's an option called Math Centre. And from there, you can request additional help, even to the point where they might even be able to give you live help, almost like a tutor. So if you need some additional help. Very good, all part of your course fee. So if you need to use that, then obviously lean on it. For me, for this particular class, I didn't have to. Now, this class is the first of 3 math class on this particular degree. It is also the prerequisite for the next 2, which means you have to complete this one before you can move on. So it is kind of a fundamental class. Now, overall, I didn't think it was the most difficult class I've taken. It's kind of a 7 out of 10. Now, like I said, if you're good at math, it might even be a lot easier than that for you. But again, pre-assessment, we'll find out where you're at. Now, for me, I started this class. It took me 8 days, basically, in total. Out of those 8 days, I didn't study every day. I had some life things going on, and really I didn't have the time. So what I did was this past weekend on the Saturday, I really tried to focus on this class. So from about 10 a.m., I got on my computer, and I basically studied as hard as I could all day. And when I say all day, I pretty much mean all day. It was about 1 a.m. Kind of Sunday morning that I was finally kind of through, kind of felt relatively comfortable with all the material. At that point, I scheduled my objective assessment for 2 a.m., so basically an hour's time, which is the beauty of Western Governors University, of course. You can take these exams at any time of night. I guess that's why it's called the night owls. So I basically went and got a cup of coffee, kind of chilled out a little bit, and then came back and took the test. The test itself is made up of a minimum of 68 questions. You get 2 hours. I got 73 questions, and I think I took about 90 minutes. I could have done it a little bit quicker, but there were some things I needed to check. Went back and just bookmarked to make sure I felt comfortable with it. Now, tips for the test. Have one of these if you can. And this is a scientific calculator. This particular one is a TI-84 plus CE. Now, these type of scientific calculators aren't cheap. You can get them on Amazon, eBay, places like that. They're $100 plus, I believe. Now, for me, I didn't buy this. I borrowed it from my daughter. So that was helpful. So if you have anybody you can borrow one of these type of calculators for, they will help you. Now, you don't need a calculator for this particular exam. If you go through the material, they do actually explain how to do the equations by hand. And obviously, you have your whiteboard during the test and when you're studying, so you can write the questions out. Obviously, that does add a little bit of time. Calculators obviously make it much quicker and obviously might be a little bit more accurate, if you forget to carry something or something like that. So definitely take one if you can. Now, obviously the exam allows you to take calculators. Some people have calculators on their phones, and that's not allowed. Of course, they're concerned that you could use your phone for something else. Now, you don't need, like I said, a scientific calculator. A regular calculator will do the trick. Your cheap one from Walmart will do the trick. The main things you need to be able to do is obviously some calculations like percentages, calculating statistics, fractions, square root, power of, that kind of thing, kind of regular math type equations. Again, if you don't know what any of those are, look at the material and it will explain it for you. Now, I did pass the course. Like I said, I didn't exactly knock it out of the park or ace it, but when I looked at the report, they don't give you a final score, but with Western Governors University, what they do is there's a pass mark. You can see it on a bar graph and it kind of shows you where you are. I was past the bar, but not much. I'd say I probably got 85%, something like that. So enough to pass, but not great. But, it's out the way. And like I said, for me, it was one thing I was the most nervous about. So going back to those mature students or people that are scared of math, let me say, if you've got to this point, if you signed up to do a degree, go back to school to push yourself, you have the mentality, you have the smarts, you have the motivation to pass this. Don't let these type of courses stop you from doing your degree. You have everything you need. You have all the material. You have help from your professors. You have Reddit. You have all sorts of places you can go to. There's a community there to help you. Trust me, you're going to pass. It is not that difficult. It's scary, yes, but you're going to be fine. So please, just trust in yourself. Trust in the process. You'll be okay. And honestly, I feel so much better now I've completed this first math class. So that's all I really have for now. The next class for me is American Politics and the US Constitution. I'm hoping to get that one done in about a week or so as well. So that'll be my next video. Finally, I just want to finish by saying thank you for those people that are watching these videos and the subscribers. Now, I really appreciate it. At the end of the day, I'm not doing this for any kind of fame or money or anything like that. This is simply just to help people. And if it's helping one person, that's great. So if you have any questions or you need any help, just please put things in the comments, send me a message. I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. And like I said, so far, I really appreciate those guys that have sent me messages and just encouraged me. That's huge. Like I said, this is a community. That's what I'm trying to build. We're there to help each other and ultimately improve our lives by getting a degree. Anyway, like I said, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye now.